Hey there, Stampers. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. And I am here for a quick Facebook Live to share what you can expect as far as classes go from me over the summer. I'm just gonna update my iPad here so that I can see your comments. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. So I wanted to pop in because I know that some of you like to see the projects, or some of them anyways, before you commit to a class. So I wanted to pop in and share what I've got done so far, what you can expect over the summer, a new class that I'm going to start in July, and yeah, just fill you in so you can make plans for the summer. All right. Okay, so first up, every month I hold 2 consistent classes. So, good evening, Kathy. Good evening, Shauna. Hey, Mom. I hold a regular card class and I hold a regular scrapbooking class. So my card class is always called Let's Get Crafty card class. And in July, we are focusing on fun folds. So that's something that I've done, I don't know how many years it's been, but I've been doing it for a number of years. Every July I would hold a fun folds class. So there's that class, and then there is my monthly scrapbook class, which is called the Layout of the Month class. And every month we focus on a different kind of suite or collection of products. So those are consistent classes. Those will continue through the summer. And then I've got a couple others that I'm gonna throw in. So first let's talk about those consistent classes. So now, these are my clubs, but you can also participate and not have to be a club member. So I open it up to everyone, but club members obviously get the perks. Good evening, Kim and Mary Liz. So for July's Let's Get Crafty card class, we are doing, like I said, fun folds. It is on Thursday, July 9th at 7 p.m. We're doing it on Zoom. All of these events for July and August are virtual. I'm not going to commit to doing anything in person because we still don't know where things are going to stand. So I'm just going to keep everything virtual for the summer months, and then I'll reevaluate come September or come the end of August for September onward. Okay, so here's a little peek at one of the fancy folds that we're doing. And then here's another one. Opens like that. And then another one. This one I still need to stamp on the inside. And then another one, the last one is quite simple, but it's still beautiful. So as you can see, we are focusing on the In Good Taste, is that what it's called? In Good Taste suite this month. So how you can participate in that class. If you place a minimum $35 order using that specific class host code, so all of these classes have their own host codes. So that's how I know if you want to participate, is if you place an order through my online shop using that specific class host code, okay? So when I go to cut the kits, I go through my online orders and I see who's ordered for those using that host code, and that tells me that you want that kit, okay? So class is Thursday, July 9th at 7 p.m. 2 ways that you can participate, either a minimum $35 order online, or you can pay a $20 class fee, okay? And then you get an invite to the Zoom meeting, you'll get the kit mailed to you, and you can either assemble with me or you can just create it afterwards. So I will record the Zoom and then email it to anybody who can't make it afterwards. So you'll still be able to see those projects be put together. All right, and I'll explain how they're scored and how they're cut so that you guys can recreate them if you want to afterwards as well. The other thing I do, because not everybody will necessarily own the stamp sets that I've used, I give you suggestions on what you can look for in your stamp collection so that you can use what you have. All right, okay, so that's the Let's Get Crafty card class, and then we've got the In Good Taste Layout of the Month class. So we're using that same suite for both classes. Again, this is a club class, but if you're not a club member, that's fine. You can still participate, all right? So if you are a club member, the class fee is $35. If you are not a club member, the class fee is $40, and everybody gets half a package of the In Good Taste DSP, and this is a larger package of DSP, so you get 12 sheets of DSP. You get a third of a package of the wood elements, a themed die cut, which I haven't decided which one I'm going to use yet, any additional supplies that you need to create the layouts, and you'll be emailed a PDF supply list with photos, measurements, and a link to a video that gives you any tips and tricks on how to put those pages together. And then we will meet on Zoom, where I'll kind of go over the layouts. I don't do the layouts from start to finish, but I'll go over the details of the layouts and you guys can craft along. It's just basically a crop night. So we basically just kind of craft together and chat. So that will be on Thursday, July 16th at 7 p.m. Okay, so here's a little peek at 3 of the layouts. So we do 4 12 by 12 layouts. So here's the first one. So that one there. And obviously you can switch out the title based on the photos that you put in there. Sometimes I don't put photos in, and then oftentimes I forget and I add the photos. This next one I don't have photos. So the next one is a 2-page spread. I can only show you one at a time. So there's that, and I kept the title pretty generic, so Outdoor Adventure. So you can use it for any kind of summer fun photos, whether that you do this year or even from the past. All right, and then that's the second page. They're so pretty that I'm sure that the camera does not do them justice. All right, now for both of those classes, there is a quick turnaround. Hey, Helena from Nova Scotia, welcome. So there's a quick turnaround for both of those classes. I have posted in the description above on this Facebook Live a link to where you can find all the information as to when the deadlines are, how the kits will be mailed, all that stuff. But if you have any questions about any of these classes, please feel free to just either comment here or shoot me a message and I'm happy to answer them, okay? All right, next up we've got another version of my Scrap Your Stash class. Okay, so some of you, actually many of you participated in that class back when this whole coronavirus started. We had a 6-week class where every week we focused on a different kit that we assembled, and we created a bunch of stuff with that kit. Now that was every week for 6 weeks we had a new kit. This one's going to be a little bit different. We are going to gather a collection of products that we're going to use for 6 weeks. Okay, so it's going to be a larger kit that we'll gather, and I'm going to share a little bit of what I've pulled out so far. But you guys, you can use some of what I've used. I'll explain where my starting point came from. I've also, in the class description, I've also given you a suggestion if you want to kind of start where I started, some suggestions on what you would need to have on hand. And then when I go through the kit in detail, I'll explain kind of what you're kind of looking for when you're going through your stash to put together this kit. Okay, so this class will go from July 13th to August 20th. So it will be a 6-week class, except remember we're working with one kit, so one larger kit that we're going to put together. And every week I will do a Facebook Live and create a layout, and then I'll post at least one additional project every week as well. So it won't be as intensive as the last one. It's going to be a little bit lower key, and it is going to be more scrapbooking focused. Okay, so I do want to point that out because I know not everyone here is a scrapbooker, and that's completely fine. I mean, I'm sure you could still take things away from doing the class, but I did want to point that out, that it is primarily going to be scrapbooking focused. Okay, so let me share a quick little peek on what inspired me in this kit. And this was my inspiration for the kit that I put together. This is the rainbow glimmer paper. Oh my gosh, it is stunning, so stunning. So this was my starting point. If you guys took the Scrap Your Stash class, you know that I normally would start with like a colorful patterned paper. So this was the colorful patterned paper that I started with. And then I pulled out some things from the annual catalog that would coordinate with it, and that is the Artistry Blooms DSP. So that DSP, I've got half a package of that, actually a little bit less than half a package because I used half of this sheet. So this actually is meant to coordinate with that rainbow glimmer paper. So I pulled that out because that's, if Stampin' Up! Puts it together, you know it's gonna work, right? So that was my starting point. And then I went through some of my retired Stampin' Up! Papers and I pulled out some of these, so you guys might recognize some of these patterns, which the colors will work. So there's navy in that paper pack. And then this one has a lot of the same colors. I went through my stash, or my scraps, sorry, and I pulled out some of these. So some of you guys might recognize those as well. So I pulled those out. And then I pulled out some other things that are not Stampin' Up! As well, some other papers that are not Stampin' Up! So this is the perfect opportunity for you to go through your stash, see what you've got, refresh, give you a little refresher on what you have, because it's always fun to flip through those things and just remind yourself of what you have. And then pull out some of those things that you would love to use up, because I'll be sharing a ton of ideas on how to use those products up. Another thing that I pulled out, does anybody have these in their collection? I think these were from an advent calendar, I think. So they're all cork numbers. There's not very many left. And then there were cork letters that were in a Project Life kit. Not very many left. But my challenge to myself is to use these up. I do not want them back in my stash. I mean, look at this wad. That's like an inch thick. I need to get rid of these. So this is the class where you can get rid of some of those things. All right. And I've got a ton more things that I've pulled out. And like I said, I will share another video where I go into detail on what I've picked out and kind of things that you would look for when you're putting together your kit. Because by no means do you have to have the same things that I am using. Okay? All right, so again, that class starts July 13th, goes to August 20th, and it will be in a private Facebook group, weekly Facebook Live, putting together a layout, and then you'll get at least one other layout, if not more, throughout the week. So it just depends on what I have the opportunity to create over that week. I'll be sharing everything that I create with that kit, okay? There's 2 ways that you can participate in this class. You can place a minimum $50 online order using the specific class host code. Remember that in the description above, I've got a link to all of my events so that you can get the host codes that are applied to each one of the classes, or you can pay a $35 class fee, okay? And both of those get you access to that private Facebook group. All right, one of the great things about this particular class is by paying the $35 Canadian class fee, you can participate from anywhere. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. So if you're watching from Australia, if you're watching from the US, it doesn't matter. By paying the class fee, you can still have access to this, okay? And then the $50 online order, anyone across Canada can participate in that way. All right, so that is the Let's Get Scrappy, Scrap Your Stash kit, or class. And then now into August, so that is for July. I know the Scrap Your Stash does carry into July, but July's Let's Get Crafty card class is going to be focused on Christmas cards, because the holiday catalog goes live in August, which seems so early, but we are going to do Christmas cards in August. So that will be that class. So I can't share the projects with you because I haven't seen the holiday catalog yet. So I don't know what I'm going to be using. But as soon as I have that, I will share those with you. And then the layout of the month class. I am so excited for this class. It is focused on, I did have my sign-up sheet, but it appears to have disappeared. It is focused around the, I can't remember the name of this collection, Playful Pets, this DSP. So you'll get half a package of this DSP. You'll get a full package of the ribbon and combo, what is this? The combo pack, the twine and the ribbon. And I included a full package because, I mean, black and white and red and white, you're gonna use those. Those are just classic colors that everybody can use in their stash. Okay, you can even use those for Christmas cards as well. And then you get, again, I don't have my sign-up sheet, so I don't know exactly how many, but some of these little Playful Pets trinkets. So there's these little dog bones and this cute little heart. So you'll get a selection of those as well. Okay, so, and I'll have little peeks of those layouts hopefully sometime in July. And then the last class for August that I'll be doing is another mini creative retreat. So I just did a mini creative retreat this past weekend. It was all day Saturday. It was lots of fun. And they still have the opportunity to participate in the challenges. They have a week to participate in the challenges. So it will work the same when I do the one in August. The one in August is on, I believe it's Saturday, August 22nd, if that's the Saturday, whatever that Saturday is, and it will be focused on this boho indigo product medley. So the way I work my mini creative retreats is I pick a grouping of products that I'm going to work with. So this past weekend it was the flowers for every season, and I create all of my projects with that collection. But in each one of the videos that I share, I give you suggestions on what you can look for if you don't own those products. So look in your stash and look for this. So I give you suggestions on how you can use my ideas and use the supplies that you have on hand. So you don't necessarily have to own what I'm using. You just take my ideas and you use them with what you have, okay? So I don't have the details on this posted yet. On July 20th, I will have more information on how to access that class. So you'll just want to mark your calendars for August 22nd. Again, if that's the Saturday, August 22nd, and just mark your calendars that that's coming up. All right. And just like this past weekend, if you can't attend the event when we go live on that day, you'll have access to the private Facebook group for a number of months after that. All right. So I think that is it. That is a ton of information, but now you know what I have happening over the course of the summer so that you guys can plan accordingly. And remember that all the details are in the link that's posted above in the description section on this Facebook Live. All right. So I hope that I will get to see you sometime virtually, of course, over the course of the summer. And okay, thanks for confirming, Mary Liz. Yeah, so I hope I get to stamp with you soon. All right, take care, guys.